Welcome back, everyone. Today we're continuing to work on the Audi. Today's plan is to get the whole Audi put back together. Since we got all the parts painted, it's time for a reassembly, and hopefully we can get all that done in this video, get it all together, and take it for that first test drive. So let's get to work. Alright, so we already got that fender on there. We're just going to go ahead and make sure all the gaps are right and get all those bolts tightened up. And then we'll continue with the headlights, probably the rear bumper. The rear end is going to be pretty simple. And just work our way around the car. Alright, so we're back next day, continuing to reassemble the Audi. The rest of it's already looking real good. So now we're gonna put the rear bumper together and put it on the car. Alright guys, so we got our Audi all put together. Everything's there. Paint job turned out real good. The bumper, the fender, good color match on it. Really happy with it. So the car's pretty much all put together. The only thing that's left is this S-line badge. Just on the other side, I got a double-side tape that, or emblem glue. We actually had our PDR guy, if you guys remember. There's a nasty crease here. He got I'm happy with how he got it out. It's not 100%. I'd say it's about 90%, but it's a lot better. And I think it's better to keep the factory paint versus having to putty that and paint and primer and then everything else like that. So he got that taken care of for us. So I'm really happy with that. We washed it. I'm sure you guys don't want to see another car wash part episode, but all that's left is to detail the car. If you guys remember when we first got it, right away I was like, oh man, this car's so clean. It's clean compared to some of these other cars that we've gotten, but if you look we started looking at it closer as I was working on it. You can see the seats, they have some black, and they have basically, it hasn't been cleaned in a really long time. The shift knob and the steering wheel, that's all dirt, and hopefully I can get most of that stuff off. My biggest concern is the two front seats. Basically this front area. The back, well, let's check that out before I say anything. Yeah, the back seats need some cleaning on it too. It's not as bad as the front, but you know, it's got little smudges. Basically it just needs a good detail. Nothing like the Ram, so it should be a nice quick detail. Throw in a couple of time lapses of what we're going to do to it, and once that's done, we're going to take it on the first test drive. Also, already when I washed the car, I gave the engine bay a quick little wash. Just a little water left over, but the rest of it cleaned up real nice. Basically, now it looks like it's got 44,000 or 45,000 miles on it. Hood turned out good, and everything lines up perfect. I mean, when it snaps closed like that easily, it's always a nice sound to hear. Alright, so the day's getting away from us. We're going to come back tomorrow morning and start detailing it. That way we can take it on its first test drive. Alright, so we're back the next morning. I'm going to start off in the back seats. It's not as dirty, but you can still, I don't know if the camera's picking up, but there's a couple of little spots here and there. So we're going to go ahead and clean this up. I'm going to start with the magic sponge and just some regular water. If that should work. If that's not going to be enough, we'll add a little degreaser to it. Alright, so we are all done with the detailing. As you guys can see, the huge difference that the cleaning made with the seats. They're actually beige now, whereas they were like a dark swamp almost color. Especially the steering wheel and the shift knob. It's probably never has been cleaned for the 46,000 miles that's on this car. It was quite dirty, but luckily it wasn't the steering wheel that was worn. It was just all dirt, so we were able to clean that off. So the interior is all done, and before we take our first test drive, I also want to do an oil change on it, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. People, you gotta change your oil, especially on a turbocharged car, especially on a German car. They do not like, I mean, that's why you get sludge problems. I mean, the oil being that black on this car, we're probably gonna change the oil on it, run it for a while, and then I'm gonna check the oil. If it's that black, I'm just gonna change it out again, because these cars, they don't like not getting the oil changed on time. That's how they develop sludge problems. So you got to make sure you use synthetic and you do it on time. Alright guys, so the Audi is 100% done now, almost. We're going to take our first test drive finally. We got the interior cleaned up, the whole front end's repaired, everything's looking real good. So let's see how it drives. Well, even the steering wheel feels different now compared to when it was dirty. I mean, just different feel to it. But the car's nice and clean now. Really like the panorama roof on it, and it's got the power shade to close that up from the sun. This transmission shifting, you can barely feel any of the shifts. So that's real smooth. I like that. The engine's running nicely. It's doing everything that it's supposed to. Not hearing anything that's loose or rattled that we might have missed, so that's good. So turn around. It's got some good pickup. I mean, it's a 2-liter turbo engine, but got nice pickup to it. The transmission is crazy smooth. I believe it's an 8-speed. Alright guys, so the car did really good. I feel very confident driving it down the road. So we're going to go ahead and take it down to alignment. The steering wheel is like just barely a notch off, but I still want to make sure that the alignment is perfect on it, since we did replace the subframe and that had some movement on it, and the steering rack is attached to it. So we're going to go ahead and get it to alignment, and then we'll do a final price breakdown on it and a final walk around. Alright, let me give these guys the keys so they can get the alignment done on it, and we'll get it back. Alright guys, and while the Audi's getting its alignment done, we got the package all packaged up, the tool set for David. So this is coming to you in the UK. So we're gonna pull into this post office, and we're gonna get that first giveaway shipped away. They're probably not gonna want us filming in there, so we'll see you when we come out. Alright guys, so we just picked up the Audi from the alignment, so we're gonna go ahead and take a drive on it. See how the alignment, how much different the car feels. Yeah, the steering's a little bit more tighter, feels like an Audi should now. Before it was a little sloppy. The other thing that I noticed that when I drove it to the alignment is that when you go over a bump, and the car would just shift side to side just a tiny bit, but sometimes that's enough to lose control in wet conditions. But now the steering feels nice and tight, and we'll keep driving to see, once we go over some bumps, see how it reacts. Alright guys, so we made it back to the shop, and we got the alignment done. As you guys can see, it was a little off, but this wasn't off that bad considering that we changed the subframe on it. And it looks like from the accident, the rear subframe shifted just a tiny bit. As you can see, both the arrows are off to one side, but it was right on the edge of being in spec. But the after, everything's right in the middle, perfect. So the car is good to go. Now for the price reveal. Alright, so we won the car for $4,300. The Copart fees were $672. And then the delivery was $150, wasn't that far away from here. So that brings us to $5,122 to just get the car here. Then, and as you guys know, we repaired most of the car with our parts car. But we did still have to buy a few parts. One of the parts was the reinforcement bar that we didn't have was $165. The radiator, because the parts car is a manual and this one's on automatic, so we had to buy another one. It was $96. The radiator support we already used off the parts car, so we had to buy one. It's $131, not too bad. and then the hood latch that's on the hood, had to buy one from the dealer. That was 75 bucks. So basically that brings us to $467 in parts that we had to purchase for this car, and brings the grand total that it cost us $5,589. But we're replacing a lot of the parts off of the parts car. The parts car we paid $2,500 for, but this is already the second car that's being repaired off of the parts car, and we still got plenty of parts left on them. But just to go over some of the prices, if we didn't have the parts car and we had to go to the junkyard and buy the rest of the parts that we needed, the hood was 300 bucks. Now these prices, we're just basically going off of what we've found, what junkyards are selling them for. The fender, 150. The front bumper, they're wanting 550. That's for the assembly. Then the two headlights we replaced, they're about 250 bucks each on eBay. So that puts us at 500. The subframe, the cradle that we changed, that was 250. And then we actually didn't show it, but two of the wheels had some major scuffs on the faces of the wheels themselves, so we took the two wheels off of the parts car also. Those are about 75 bucks each, so that's 150. So that basically, if we went and didn't have the parts car and bought all the parts from the junkyard, would be at $1,900 in parts extra if we didn't have the parts car. Now the labor, again, there's people that are cheaper, there's people that are more expensive. This one wasn't too bad. It was, as you guys saw, it was a pretty easy fix. So we put it at $1,650 for the labor that it would cost us. Yeah, the labor cost, we figured that out. We average about, we charge $75 an hour, so that basically puts it at $1,650. And basically, if we didn't have the parts car and weren't able to do this ourselves and brought it to our shop, we estimate that would be an extra $3,550 that we would have spent on it if we didn't do it ourselves and didn't have the parts car. So basically that brings the grand total. If we basically bought the car and had somebody else do it, it would have come out to $9,139. Not too bad. We looked up the private party Kelley Blue Book value with the 48,000 miles that this car has, and Kelley Blue Book on it is $14,300. So it's, I think it's a pretty good deal. But let us know in the comments below what you guys think. And we're gonna, since this car does have a rebuilt title, we're gonna drop the price a little bit off of what the clean title is, and we're gonna be offering it for $11,500. All right, guys, and we're gonna be giving away our third and final Milwaukee bit set, tool set. In order to be entered, you guys got to be subscribed to the channel, comment in this video, and like this video also. So make sure you guys have all three. That way you can get entered into the drawing for this Milwaukee tool set. This is our third and final one. So make sure you guys enter it. Alright, well, that wraps up the Audi. I hope you guys enjoyed our videos that we put out on rebuilding the Audi. Remember, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next build.